गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनाम् उपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजिं ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन् ऊदिभिः सीदसादनं महागणपतये नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षीभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पादं मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। हरि ओम्। Yesterday we have seen the great warrior Arjuna becoming the worst warrior. The warrior became the warrior. And the background was a Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, he came determined to fight and win and enjoy the victory and establish dharma. That was the motivation. But when we came to the battlefield and surveyed the situation, Arjuna's motivation disappeared. He looked at both sides and he found that he was caught up in the midst of a civil war. It's very difficult to distinguish between enemies and friends. It was a grey situation, not a black and white situation. And in such a grey situation, decisions become difficult. It is not that easy, because what they call collateral damage. If you hit one enemy, couple of friends also will die in the process. That was the situation. So the choice in front of Arjuna was either withdraw in the name of peace or fight in the name of justice. That was the choice. If he fights in the name of justice, he will have to kill his own people, gurus, uncles, in-laws. So if he fights in the name of justice, he becomes a murderer. If he withdraw in the name of peace, he becomes a martyr. The choice is between to either become a martyr or a murderer. Both was unacceptable to Arjuna. Both was unacceptable. Therefore, he was forced to look for a third way. What were the two ways available? Either withdraw, nivritti, or engage, pravritti, and the outcome, then he contemplated on the outcome. Both were unacceptable to Arjuna. This is what is called a situation of being caught in the horns of a dilemma. That's what happened. That's why he collapsed in the battlefield. When we are caught up like that, we don't see a way forward. Arjuna did not see a way forward. He didn't want to die, nor did he want to kill. In such a situation, whenever we are caught in such a situation, we become paralyzed. We don't know what to do. And that's when we think of either, they say, let the earth split and let the Mother Earth come and lift me and take me underground. Sometimes we think like that. Or sometimes we'll think, let me get uplifted somewhere in the heavens. I don't want to be on the terra firma, on the earth. It's too difficult, that situation. So Arjuna wanted to think of a third way, and he collapses at the feet of Lord Krishna. Fortunately, you and I would have thought of taking a drink, a couple of drinks, or maybe some sleeping pills, or maybe we'll cut our own wrist. We don't know what to do at that situation. When you are not able to take a rational decision, then you are ready for doing anything. But fortunately here, Arjuna collapsed, kind of fainting situation. You know, whenever you find a terrible situation, there are four kind of responses. Either you fight, or you run away, flight, fight or flight. And the third way is to freeze. You just freeze there, or faint. Arjuna took the fourth option. He fainted. He threw away the weapons and he fainted on the floor of the chariot and held the feet of Krishna and said, Karpunya dosho bahadasvabhava prichami tvam dharma sammoda chedaha yat sheyasya tad nishchadam brujame shishyasteham pahi mam prabannam prahi mam prabannam. Or Shadi Mam Prabannam. Arjuna asks, Shadi Mam Prabannam. Shadi means please teach me. Please tell me what should I do. So this is the time we look for a mentor, an outside person, so that you can have a 360-degree perspective on the issue, so that you can take the best decision possible. So Arjuna looks up to Krishna and asks him to become his mentor, his teacher, his counselor, his coach, whatever way you want to say that. Arjuna wanted a help, because now he is in the midst of the problem and he found himself to be the problem. And whatever situation which created the problem, you cannot find a solution sitting in the same situation. You have to come out of the situation, get a new perspective. So in search of that new perspective or way of understanding things, or in search of a third way, when these two ways are not acceptable, then you wanted a third way or a fourth way. That's what Arjuna asked for. He said, I myself will not be able to solve this problem. Karpanya dosho bhagatsava. My mind is muddled and clouded, and I am not able to see through. I don't see any solution in front of me, and I am helpless. That helplessness is a beautiful situation. Generally, we don't accept that helplessness. Whenever you are helpless, something magical happens. So that is what happened to Arjuna. He fell at the feet of Krishna, and he looking for a third way. So I just gently hinted what was the third way. The third way was neither action or running away. The third way was detached engagement. That was the third way. Or reflective action. At this point we are engaged in just a reaction. The four ways of reaction I told you. Fight, flight, faint, freeze. And Arjuna fainted. But that cannot be a solution. Some solution has to be found. So Arjuna wanted a third way between these two, flight and fight. And the third way was reflective action or detached engagement. You need how to jump out of the problem and look at the issue from a third party's perspective. What they call as though you are looking from the moon. The problem is on the earth. You are looking from the moon. as though you don't belong to this earth, so that you get a grand perspective. So the third way was detachment, creating depth and space within yourself, so that you have a place to stand and look at the issue. Get out of the issue. So Krishna taught Arjuna, become a reflective person than a reactive person. In reaction you can do foolish things. Very foolish things. I remember a story. This man was sitting on the 7th floor of the building. The 7th floor of a, let's say, a hotel room, on the veranda. He is sitting. And then he heard an announcement. And the announcement says, Paul, your daughter met with an accident and died, and your wife, hearing that news, committed suicide. Paul. This is the announcement he heard. And the moment he heard this announcement, he jumped from the 7th floor. Why? There is no point in living, isn't it? When you go home, there is no wife, no daughter. Maybe the dog and cat. Why should I go home? So he jumped from the 7th floor, and as he was coming down 36 feet per second, halfway through, he said, wait a minute, what did I hear? I heard, Paul, your daughter met with an accident and died, and your wife committed suicide, but I am not married. I am not married. So since I am not married, there is no question of having a wife. There is no question of having a daughter also. What a foolish person I was. And to top it off of that, my name is not Paul also. My name is not Paul. My God, why did I do this? Because this is thoughtless reaction. There was no space inside to reflect. The moment you heard this, without thinking, you reacted. And that reaction, now you cannot take back that decision, because you already jumped. Now you have to fall 36 feet per second and hit the ground. And that was your last day. You will die. So this is what you call overreaction. If you had some space inside, either a mentor, you can go and talk to someone, or you take a deep breath, sit in Padmasana for some time. Sit in Padmasana, take a deep breath, or have a cold shower. Something you need, some interregnum, some space between response, between sensation and response. You have to create some space. And that's a good investment. You don't have to immediately jump into a foolish decision and face the consequence for the rest of your life. A moment's foolish decision, and the rest of your life you have to suffer. That's what happened to this foolish person. He reacted without reflection. So what you require is reflection, creating some space between stimulus and response. That's what you have to achieve. And that state of mind which is reflecting before acting is called detachment. So you need a detachment, creating some depth and space within. And that can happen by just sitting cross-legged, or holding your finger like this, or taking a deep breath, or saying Ram Ram. Something you have to do, creating that space. So Arjuna wanted a third way, and in brief, that third way was reflective action. And when you reflect, you can nuance your response. You don't overreact, nor do you underreact. That stage is called response. Response means ability to respond. So you have the ability to respond appropriately to the situation. Otherwise you will be overreacting or underreacting, and then you don't create the desired outcome. Then you regret and feel guilty later. So, how do I create that inner space? As somebody said, give me a lever and a place to stand. I can lift the whole world. Give me a lever and place to stand, and I can lift the whole world. So, I may have a lever, but where do I stand? So, you have to stand in a space which is firm, which is not shaky. And that firm space is what Krishna is talking about. So that you can stand and stare at the world, look at the world. So you understand, you have a clear idea of what the world is, so that you can have the appropriate response to the challenges. So that stage is called reflective action or detached engagement. So these are mantras you have to take note of. Reflective action or detached engagement. Now this poses a problem for Arjuna, because here Krishna is reconciling contradiction. What are the contradiction? Action and reflection. Meditation and action. He is trying to combine them. This is Krishna's solution to problem. He neither takes side. He doesn't take sides. If Duryodhana goes and asks for help, he says, okay, here is my help. Then Arjuna comes, okay, you also will get help. But these are two opposing parties. It's like a businessman, Give some donation to BJP, give some donation to